My. Teams with a lot of money and imagination can do a lot of things. They can almost work miracles. Um, I say that using innuendo, but I'm referring to the Los Angeles Lakers, your Boston Celtics, um, your Indiana Pacers, who else? Your Memphis Grizzlies. Who else may have done well? Um, your Portland's. So listen, a team has been in the gutter for a while, is tired of being in the gutter, and they decide to batten down the hatches. They decide to go for broke and go after everybody. So last summer, the crown jewel in free agency was LeBron James. He signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. This year, the crown jewel of free agency was Kevin Durant. He signed with the Brooklyn Nets along with another good piece in Kyrie Irving. I won't lie to you, I'm shocked. Did a video prior to this where, oh, I just got bad news. The Knicks canceled a meeting with Kawhi Leonard. Okay, all right. Um, just for GP, full disclosure, I am a Knicks fan and have been since the 70s. Back when the Knicks used to play on this channel in the New York tri-state area, WWOR Channel 9. Back when the video was grainy and all that stuff. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand. So the Lakers traded for Anthony Davis. Very, very smart move. Very smart move. Trading guys that didn't know they didn't know for sure if those guys would have upper level potential. So they traded for a guy they knew was a bona fide superstar. You can't blame them. It's what the Lakers do. They let a guy play in the league for a little while, cut his teeth, prove he's a star, and then they trade for him or sign him in free agency. It's what the Lakers do. It's like the Yankees. I mean, it's what they do. So as of 8/22, they are in the hunt for Kawhi Leonard. So last we hear, Joe's like myself. I'm not an NBA insider or anything like that. I'm just a regular guy. You know what I mean? Regular guy. So, but anyway, as of 8/22 Eastern time, the front runners are the Toronto Raptors, the home team basically, the LA Lakers and the LA Clippers. But the more this stretches out, the more you feel like it's either the Lakers or Raptors. So if the Lakers pull off the addition or acquisition or purchase, whatever you want to call it, of Kawhi Leonard, does that automatically make them the front runner for the championship? I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Does that make them the lead dog in terms of the championship hunt? So, in my opinion, it depends on the team and the coach and such. I don't see Frank Vogel as a championship coach. And I know they have an impressive coaching staff with Lionel Hollins and Jason Kidd and some others. Some others they've signed. I can't remember, but I don't see Jason Kidd, Lionel Hollins, and Frank Vogel as a championship coaching staff. I don't know if any have been to the championship NBA finals as a head coach or assistant. I don't think they have as head coaches, but possibly assistants. I'm not for sure. I don't know their resumes that in depth. But I would say the Lakers are definitely in the running. That brings me to the Brooklyn Nets. Where does that position Brooklyn? Brooklyn has signed DeAndre Jordan, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Does that make them a championship contender? In a weird way, Big Freezy says no, or I say no, but in a weird way, I don't think they're close. I don't think Kyrie Irving is a team leader. I like Kyrie Irving as a secondary guy, as a guy that's like a what do you? It's like I hate to use the cliche Robin, but it's the cliche du jour now. So, but DeAndre Jordan definitely I don't definitely don't see him as a championship piece. It's, what about Kevin Durant? If Kevin Durant coming back at 85%, is he still the championship guy? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But and their coach, I forget his name, but listen. They were patient with him, and you know what? They owe him for that mess that they gave him to operate with. Um, but in terms of my prediction of where they'll go, um, I'd say definitely a second round playoff team, but not necessarily a contender, even when KD comes back. And I'm not a hater either. I'm not a hater. I'm saying that based up based off of how much salary cap you have locked up, the guys that you have in place. Like you don't have like who what complementary piece do you have in place and with Brooklyn right now? I don't see any. I think they signed like some guy I forget, but it's not that impressive. But anyways, oh, they do have Torian Prince. They have Torian Prince. A nice piece. I like him. So Kemba Walker goes to the Boston Celtics. I honestly did not see that coming until free agency got closer and closer. I honestly thought Kemba would be Dallas Mavericks type. Maybe Phoenix Suns would make the cap space to acquire him, but not Boston, man. You know, Boston for Kemba Walker. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he does fit. And I tell you what, I was low on Brooklyn signing Kyrie and KD, but I'm a tad higher on Kemba going to Boston. My prediction for them is second round Eastern Conference Finals maybe, and if something miraculous happens, um, say Enes Kanter starts to play defense, or one of the rookies or second year players they have emerges, then I could see Boston maybe knocking off Milwaukee to get to the NBA Finals if Kawhi Leonard doesn't sign with Toronto. If Kawhi Leonard signs with Toronto, you can cross Boston out, in my opinion. Freezy, what about the Sixers? I know. You guys are saying, how do you put Boston if they're lucky in the Eastern Conference Finals over the Sixers? Just look at the moves that they made. Look at the moves that they made. Instead of signing a shooting guard, they signed Al Horford to like a $29-30 million a year deal to play with JoJo in an era where teams are trying to get more and more bigs off the floor. I'm not for sure what that was about. Generally, GMs or coaches are pretty smart. They have an idea of what they want to do in mind, or they may have found a flaw down the stretch of the season and noticed that they found a hole and noticed they needed to fill that hole and couldn't do it with average Joes, so they went after Al Horford. Um, I just don't think 34-year-old Al Horford can play power forward, like he did um, early on in Atlanta and early on in Boston. Um, Listen, Al Horford's a stud. Don't sleep on Al Horford. He can guard point guards through center. And I mean, literally run with them around the floor, point guards. I saw some show had tape of Al Horford guarding Kyrie Irving, chasing him around the floor, not wanting to switch. He did it. So don't sleep on Al Horford now. To Philly, my only concern is the fit. When they should have went out and got shooting because Simmons doesn't shoot. Tobias Harris is not a great knockdown shooter. JoJo's not a great knockdown shooter. Al Horford can shoot it, but he's not a great knockdown shooter. So, ironically, the guys they let get away could shoot. Landry Shamet in that Tobias Harris trade, and they let JJ Redick walk. Maybe they know something that we don't, but I can't see Philly, getting past that second round of the playoffs again. So what about your Clippers? In the grand scheme of things, the Clippers probably did everything right. They traded for youth. They started a rebuild. They kept veteran guys. They were loyal to veterans. They cleared cap space. They didn't cut guys until they knew a guy was coming, and they still struck out. It happens. So, it's one of those things where if you're the Clippers now, you have to do bargain bin shopping and see if you can patch some of the holes and maybe try again next year. But in terms of the free agents, I just don't see Kawhi Leonard signing with the Clippers after being wined and dined by the Lakers. The Lakers, they always get their man. Is there a surprise team out there? A surprise team that maybe made many moves, or not many as in numerous, but many as in smaller moves that you think is going to make some noise? I was told Orlando keeping Vucevic and Terrence Ross is a coup for them, and they're going to come back healthy. Come back healthy, and maybe they can get better with that team. I doubt it. I think this Orlando Magic team is the classic first-round fodder for, say, a team headed to the finals. Classic, just good enough to fend off, the Knicks, the Wizards, the Hornets, whatever other trash, the Cavs, and teams like that. Whatever else fodder that's in the conference, but not good enough to make real noise. So, what about in the Western Conference? I'm here to tell you, I think the Utah Jazz has ascended with the bullet. I think there are no doubt that their acquisitions, I forget them all. I think it's they signed Bogdanovich. They signed I forgot. They signed a number of guys, but they're going to be improved. They had some holes. They had some deficiencies. The addition of Conley. So they had some holes. And I think the additions that they made, they shored those up. Because I think what it is with Utah is the emphasis on defense was their calling card, but at times they just couldn't put the ball in the basket. So no matter how much defense you play, you can smother a team, but if you can't score yourself, you're basically the grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies, where you hold somebody to 84 points, but you can barely get to 80. So the high intensity defense you played, you still lost by 4 or 5 points because you couldn't score. So what about the Golden State Warriors? The Golden State Warriors signing D'Angelo Russell, in my opinion, was the sneakiest move of the offseason. I think they paid a lot for D'Angelo Russell, but at the same time, I think they know that core is I'm not going to say old, but they definitely need to replenish talent. And I think by signing D'Angelo Russell, they do that. They take the pressure off Steph Curry because Klay is out for the year, basically. And their second best player, Draymond Green, is not a scorer. They basically, during the finals, you saw that Steph Curry was the only ball handler, shooter passer they had. And all you had to do was focus on either Steph or where you think Steph was going to go. And nobody else showed up. So if you're the Golden State Warriors, you definitely have to be in talent acquisition mode in order to maintain your dynasty. Kevin Durant's gone. He's never coming back. As a matter of fact, they knew he was gone during the season. They put on a good face and tried to be happy campers about it. But KD, for some reason, knew he was gone, and they knew KD was gone, and sometimes it just didn't work. You can't blame anybody. Sometimes in a relationship, sometimes the two people in the relationship aren't meant for each other, no matter how hard they try. And KD was like that with Golden State. So, but with that said, I'd be surprised if Golden State just lays down. I doubt they will. I think they'll probably try to acquire more talent or groom the talent that they have on a roster in order to take that next step. Because they had lightning in a bottle, and they caught lightning in a bottle, and now the lightning's out of the bottle, and you can't put it back in, you can't force it back in, so you may have to try to start all over, or try to get that old feeling back. Is there any other team that y'all think is a sneaky team? New Orleans, no. New Orleans is not a sneaky team. New Orleans is probably going to be exciting to watch, but I don't see them making any noise. In the East, I would say watch out for the Indiana Pacers. They'll probably make some noise, and then when they get Oladipo back after the All-Star break, knowing that they have a few pieces, I'd say watch out for them. Is anybody going to be traded? I would be surprised if Andrew Wiggins is not traded. To be honest with you, that he's basically hit his ceiling in Minnesota. And I'll tell you what, you can say what you want about Andrew Wiggins, but guys that talented don't come along that often. His deal is he an alpha? Is he an alpha guy? Is he going to be that guy that takes the next step? Go from and my benchmark for this person is Rudy Gay, where you have all the talent in the universe, but you just don't have that thing that gets you to the next level. Like who would do like a Tyson Chandler, all world athletic ability, when motivated can look like the best player at his position, but just don't do it. You know what I mean? Like the who else would you say is like that? Like y'all remember Mark McGwire, a person with all world skill and talent, but just couldn't take that step to be a star like Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson, like Larry Bird. Kind of like that Rudy Gay, like a Lamar Odom, all world talent, everything, the total package, except what it takes to take that step to the next level. And I don't want to say it's a hard thing, because guys play hard. Everybody plays hard. I think it's a mental thing. I think it's a thing like, do you have that alpha dog mentality in order to take that next step and take over a team, or put the NBA on notice about who you are? So RJ Barrett has it. Does Dennis Smith Jr. have it, though, with his all-world talent? I don't know that he does. I don't think so. I think he's a super talented. But anyway, my point is, I think Andrew Wiggins is probably a goner, but who takes on that huge albatross contract? I can't see anybody taking on that unless it's a team starved for an athletic superstar wing player and has not had that type player in a long time, and they see this time as the opportunity to fill that void that they've been looking to fill for quite some time. Right? You would say, well, who was that player? A Dallas Mavericks, maybe? An Orlando Magic, maybe? Who else? A Detroit Pistons? When's the last time the Detroit Pistons had a dynamic wing player? No, don't tell me about Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin is a power forward a classic power forward with ball handling and passing skills. He's not a wing player at all. Right. So there are no real. I mean, there'll be few takers out there, if any, for Andrew Wiggins. But don't be surprised if you go to the bathroom one night and you see an alert on your phone that Wiggins has been traded to the Orlando Magic for Mo Bamba and Jonathan Isaac and some cap filler, in order to pair that with Aaron Gordon, Vucevic, and somebody else. So anyway, the rumor mill is running high. I would say Kyrie is the center of the NBA universe right now, and deservedly so for what he did with Toronto. Just watching this guy. Now, regardless of where he signs, the floor or the pitch is going to tilt his way. So if he signs with the Lakers, it'll be a wide open Eastern Conference. So if he signs with Toronto, it'll be a wide open Western Conference. With Houston, the Lakers, Golden State, Portland, Denver, all of them. If he signs with the Lakers, you can shut all that down and start the who's going to finish second in the Western Conference. But the East to be wide open. So that's about it. I'm going to keep it short. Good to see y'all again. Just chopping it up. If you like what you heard, like, share, and subscribe. Shout outs to all my people on Twitter that I correspond with. Seems like daily or hourly sometimes. Big Viv, Knicks Film School. Shout out to Crazy Teddy, who's on some videos with me. He'll be on some more. Shout out to Sim from Nothing But Knicks. Terry and Trey, y'all keep doing those dope videos, man. Y'all are funny. Keep the movement going. Jay Ellis, Casey Powell, CP, everybody that gets in those video chats to chop it up about my Knicks. Hopefully, if you're not enjoying them, you can come by and check out my videos because my main goal is just to keep the conversation going, not looking to be the empire. Just if you want to talk Knicks or hear about Knicks or hear about NBA basketball, just a place to stop by and check out a few short videos.